Welcome, everyone, to social media marketing analytics and how to use data to grow your results. We're really excited to have you here today to really dig into how doTERRA Social can help you with your analytics. It's a very important part of social media, so we're excited to teach you more about it today. By way of introduction, my name is Mackenzie Felstead, Leader Content Specialist at doTERRA. And we have Raquel Sims on the call with us representing Promo Republic. Thanks for joining, Raquel.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Great. Well, let's go over our agenda and get started a little bit. So today we're going to be learning about the importance of analyzing your social media results, 4 reasons to start using social media analytics, and key social media metrics that matter. And lastly, how to track your social media metrics with doTERRA Social. So once we tell you about the analytics, we're going to show you how there's already a tool within doTERRA Social to help you with this. And many of you, I'm sure, are already using it or have noticed it. So let's get started. So by way of definition, if you aren't even familiar with what social media analytics are, they're simply the collection of data points that help measure your account's performance to improve your business results. So it's helping you measure the performance of actions based on the decisions of those on social media. So a little bit of a technical definition there, but that's a little bit about what we'll be talking about today. So tracking social media metrics is vital to any social media strategy. Did you know that your social media efforts are hiding a wealth of information? And when you learn how to analyze your social media, you can unearth this data. It's actually pretty exciting, and it's a great way to learn how your audience is connecting with you and what they really like to see on your social media accounts. So 73% of companies keep tabs on their likes and comments, and 50% or 56% of marketers use social media data for understanding their audience. So it's really the perfect way to understand your audience. Learning from them, understanding what they're liking. For example, when you post something about essential oils and how you can use them in a recipe or a DIY, maybe your audience really loves that. You tend to get a lot of likes, you tend to get a lot of comments. But when you post something that's a little more science-based about essential oils, maybe you don't get a lot of engagement. You don't get a lot of likes or a lot of people commenting. That's maybe a sign to you that your audience really loves just finding simple ways to use essential oils. That's what speaks to them. But on another person's account, something more science-based would be really beneficial and helpful for them. So overall, social media data helps you understand your audience, pinpoints well-performing strategies, and weeds out the incompetent ones. Social media analysis helps you achieve your social media goals, proves what's working and what's not, and eventually maxes your ROI. And Raquel, let's turn it over to you.
Of course. So I did want to spend a little bit of time on discussing why it is actually important to take a look at this. And this is really because we do get some metrics in the native platforms themselves, but the analysis of social media just goes beyond broader metrics such as likes, follows, clicks, retweets, etc., which are those surface level analytics. The heart of social media analytics is just really gathering not only the KPIs or key performance indicators like we just discussed, but combining that with your audience data and marketing data, which help you make better decisions. And you might think, okay, I'm just running my own business as a wellness advocate. Like, what do you mean audience data and marketing data? Well, there are ways, and we'll show you that in a moment, that you can really easily and effectively peek into your own data that you might not even knew you had. And this is really helpful because this helps you curate your own branded content as a personal brand based on the demographics of your audience, for example, or based on interests and behaviors. So this is really a really great way to dive in. And to follow up, I did want to spend some time on just 4 reasons that we've highlighted to start using social media analytics and start making the social accounts actually work for you. Because all of the posts that you share and any interaction that's generated, whether it is a comment you receive or a like or a click, that is all data gathering into your account. So the insights from this can empower the different aspects of your day-to-day running your business as a wellness advocate. So the first is, as I mentioned on the previous slide, it helps you craft a personalized and catered customer experience, because social media data helps you understand your audience. It tells you what the consumers want and what time. And these insights allow you to create a really targeted content that helps them understand more about doTERRA. Maybe really informative posts or recipes or DIYs, just like Mackenzie just highlighted, are ways that you can win more on social. And it will help them influence their purchase decisions. And I say purchase decisions in quotes because all you need, right, is that introduction, that inquisitive question on how the journey can change their life. And this is what the social media data can help you understand. The second point is all about improving your strategic decision making. So you can see what is working on social and what's not, maybe something to tweak, and all of that, changing your tactics on social is part of this decision-making plan that you can gather from ingesting the data. The third point is boosting your ROI. And that's really the goal of every post, right? You want to post and get something back from it, whether it is a share, a retweet, a repost, a stitch, etc., or someone actually going through you and purchasing or signing up to work with you and so on. So when you understand what is working, what isn't working, you can also tweak that strategy accordingly and get the best investment on your each and every post that you do. And then the fourth reason is the overall performance. We did highlight that the data goes beyond KPIs, but it's also really important to analyze the likes, shares, comments, clicks, etc., because this tells you which receives the maximum engagement and which ones are kind of going to the wayside. And this data on the top performing post helps you design a better content plan for the future. And if you're wondering, how to create a content plan, we do have some webinars on the landing page about that already. So we're here to help with that curation as well. So I'll pass the microphone back to Mackenzie.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Raquel. So let's kind of talk about goals and how we can actually create goals around building up your social media and really paying attention to those analytics. So it's pretty much impossible to measure your success if you don't actually know what success looks like. Great social media tracking begins with setting a goal for your brand. As simple as that. A social media goal is a statement about something specific you want to achieve when marketing activity. So some of these stats here show that 89% of marketers set the goal of increasing their brand awareness, 73% have a goal to grow their followers, and 62% aim to boost their brand reputation. So the goals they're making are really quite simple. I love that 73% simply have a goal to grow their followers. It's as simple as that. They just want more people seeing their content and connecting with more people and building that community. So let's walk through SMART goals. I'm sure many of you have heard about SMART goals before. So a social media goal, like we talked about, is a statement about something specific you want to achieve with your marketing activity. We recommend using the SMART framework for your social media goals to set up for maximum success. So as you can see, it's an acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART or specific is when setting a goal, be specific and clear about what you want to accomplish. This is needed in order for a goal to be effective. Measurable is a SMART goal must have criteria for measuring progress. If there's no criteria, you will not be able to determine your progress and if you are on track to reach your goal. So you really need to make it measurable. Achievable, setting goals you can reasonably accomplish within a certain time frame will help you keep motivated and focused. And goals should be realistic. You shouldn't set very, very high expectations for yourself that you think you're not, or that you're not going to reach. That'll just make the goal more difficult to reach. You want to actually make it realistic for you in the time that you have. Relevant, when setting goals for yourself, consider whether or not they are relevant. Each of your goals should align with your values and larger team goals. So if you are working with your team on this goal, this is a great time to talk to them and walk through this SMART goal process. I know some people have Facebook groups where you're working with your team on there, make a goal altogether about your social media on your Facebook group. Or if you're just working with yourself, make this relevant to yourself and your brand. And lastly, time bound. What is your goal time frame? You really need to get specific. Break it down. Are you going to have time several times a week or just a few times a month? Really make a specific time. Let's show an example of a SMART example. So simply here, what is the goal? So building your personal brand on social media. Simple as that. A way you can achieve this is posting consistently. And doTERRA Social makes this very easy by the suggested posts that we have on the calendar every single day. Some of them are stories, some of them are in-feed posts. Sometimes we have both. I would start, if you're a little unsure how to do this, make a goal to post every day and just use the post that we have on doTERRA Social for you. If you feel like you can go above and beyond that, look at some of the other posts we have and schedule them on your own. How will you measure your progress? Evidence. You will use the analytics on doTERRA Social to look at your engagement rate. Are you getting more sales? Are you getting more people DMing you, reaching out, or just simply commenting on your posts and are more interested? Keep track of all of that, and doTERRA Social can help you with that with the analytics, and Raquel will go over that shortly. Do I have the skills and the resources for it? Yes, you have doTERRA Social to help you to reach many of these goals, and you can become an expert in specific areas. Maybe you become the expert on creating your own posts within doTERRA Social, or maybe you become the expert on, I'm really great at posting stories every day. That's a little easier for me than doing an actual in-feed post every day. Well, that's great. That can count. If that's how your goal is, you can count it towards your posting every day, simply putting a story on your Facebook or Instagram. And then relevant. Why is this goal important? Simply, you want to increase your awareness and the number of people you're communicating with and working with and educating about essential oils. And lastly, time bound. I talked about how this really needs to be specific. You don't just want to say, oh, I'll work on it once or twice a week, or no, I'm going to have this deadline be in 6 months. My engagement will be at this much. So that's just a bit of an example of how SMART goals work. And now we're going to have Raquel kind of dive into more how doTERRA Social helps with this.
Yeah, thank you, Mackenzie, and thanks for sharing that example. So there are many different ways in which you can use social media analytics tools. And each network has their own built-in tool. If you're using Instagram, I'm sure as a business page, you can see your insights on your network if you have more than 100 followers. And there are a lot of tools, again, on the market, but it's really important to know what you should measure and why. So we'll go through all of that, not only the whys, but how as well. So if we take that step back and say, okay, what should we be tracking, or how to choose a tool that would envelop the right information, we like to just ask ourselves these following questions. Are my posts are my followers commenting more on photos or text posts, or what social media networks are driving the most traffic to maybe my website or my referral link this month? Should we post more on TikTok or another channel? Is it worthy? So these are all the types of questions that will pop up when you're thinking about your social media journey as a whole for your personal brand. Because again, it's, as Mackenzie highlighted, it's about sharing your story, your why behind doTERRA. So this is a really great way to think of what to choose. So we're going to break down the key social media metrics that matter, because this is, again, why we're all here today. So everything that I will highlight will be just an overview at first. And these are all screenshots taken directly from doTERRA Social itself. So if you have an account, you can feel free to follow along, as well as at the end of this, we'll dive into the platform itself and do a live walkthrough today, once we have the definitions nailed. So the first is reach. So reach is an important metric because whenever you reach a new user, they're getting that first impression or first exposure to you or your brand. So if your reach is low, you may want to consider a new strategy to get your content in front of new users. It's all about that new users for that first time. So reach is just, if we simplify that and dumb that down, is the number of people who see your content. So this is a really good idea to monitor your average reach as well as the reach of each post, story, or video, etc. So this is a valuable metric to look at which percentage of your reach is made up or followers and non-followers, if you can. So this is really important when looking at it, because you can get a holistic example of, okay, maybe a lot more people who don't follow me are looking at my content. How do I turn that into followers and eventually into maybe that's a customer or a colleague, etc. So the next is impressions. So impressions is the physical number of times people saw your content. And this number, it kind of, I get a lot of questions on, okay, what is the difference between impressions and reach? So impressions can be higher than reach because the same person could look at the post more than once. So that's where the difference would come into play. This is the reach is the unique individuals, whereas impressions is the total number of views on a piece of content. And an especially high level of impressions in contrast to reach would just mean that a lot of people are looking at your post multiple times, which is great. You want people coming back and looking at your content. So this is, again, a screenshot fresh from doTERRA Social, where you can see your total different types of impressions across any selected time period. The next metric we have is something you all probably are familiar with, which is followers growth. So this is the total number of new followers on your specific social media channel for any time range that you're choosing. So tracking this helps you understand the growth potential that you have. It also highlights which platforms are the most relevant to you. Maybe you're not growing on Facebook at all, but your Instagram is growing week over week. So that might show you that you want to divest from Facebook and double down on Instagram, just for an example. And then you can also understand how many people are engaging with the brand. And again, that gives you more opportunities to create more content because you have more and more people following you and seeing what you're going to do next. And then the next is engagement rate. So this is a really important thing to understand as well, because this highlights the interaction. So not only do you have impressions, which are eyes on a post, you also have engagement, which is physical actions taken on your post. And on Facebook, we're all familiar with this, like likes, comment, and sharing. Twitter, for example, you can retweet something. TikTok, you can stitch something. So there are different ways you can engage with a post depending on the social media channel of your choosing. And a higher engagement rate just highlights that you're creating really valuable content and something that, as it says, engages them or gives them a reason to post. And the contrast of that is that a low engagement rate kind of signals that maybe it is time to tweak something to really get the content out there. So, or to get the engagement rate out there. So what all that is to say is that, you know, a really great analysis of each and every indicator that we highlighted is a really great way to just grow on social media in general. And you've heard it a couple of times today, both from Mackenzie and myself, but doTERRA Social is a way that you can do all of this effortlessly. So not only do you have the parts of doTERRA Social that I'm sure you love and are already using, such as the monthly content and library to use any chance you want to schedule content, but also the analytics tool is there for your use. So what I'll do right now is I'll kind of open up the behind the scenes and I will highlight my version of doTERRA Social, which is this test account. So this is all real data, but your data will look very different. So as you can see, I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram Business, and LinkedIn connected here. So what we're going to do is go to analytics and reporting. So there are two areas of data that each of you will see within your account. Reporting is the overview and analysis of your KPIs that we just highlighted in the slides, whereas your statistics are a post by post breakdown, and both of them are really valuable for different reasons. So I'll start with reporting so you can see this first. So within analytics, you'll notice two sections. The first is audience, which are the follower growth, engagement, impression rates. And then we'll scroll down in a minute after that. And then the next is content. So you can see how your content not only performs, but what types of content, frequency, best time, etc. And this is all exclusively in doTERRA Social. So this goes beyond just the analytics that you can get in the native platforms, for example. Just a tip as well, you can select any date range of your choosing. Right now, I just have the last 7 days, which is what it is by default, but you can change it, let's say, to the past quarter or specific date range. So you can really just see how you're doing over any given period. Now, I know on today's webinar, we did go through the definitions of each and every metric, but if you wanted to break this down further, or let's say you forgot what a metric was, we have these little tooltips on the info icon, which actually define absolutely everything within the graph that you're looking for. So you can see this audience growth chart breaks down new fans, paid fans, lost, net, etc. So you can really see this. And as you're hovering over each date, you can see the total change. You can also select or deselect as you're going. If I just want to see net new fans, I can see that we did grow by 2 here, or so on, which is 25% increase, which is great. And same with engagements and impressions. So these are the same screens that you did see in the slide, which is why I'm breezing over them. But what I did want to highlight is demographics. So again, this really easily and effortlessly breaks down your demographics. So this is by, again, your followers as well as reach. And we just highlighted that these are two different things. So it's really helpful to be able to toggle between your total reach as well as your total followers, because this is really interesting. So our demographics are, 30 plus, I would say, is our average range. And our followers are mainly female. However, the total reach, so the total number of eyes on our content, actually is more majority male, which it would be contrast to the followers. That means not only do we need to create strong content that is, for engaging everyone, but we also want to make sure it's gender neutral, because it's very easy to create content targeted towards women by following certain marketing principles. But by knowing that we actually are pretty 50-50 on male versus woman, we want to make sure that it is inclusive of absolutely everybody and across the age range as well. So this is a really interesting one to keep an eye on. And we also highlight the countries and cities where you're most active, which again helps you define your journey, because maybe there's like a language that you didn't even know that you want to have within your follower base. So all of this is really helpful for that. The next section that I do want to highlight is content. So this highlights the number of content pieces published, your reach, the engagement on this. Now you can see we have room to improve. We haven't posted at all in the past week. So that's what this is highlighting. So our data, again, is just a sample. Your data will be much more dynamic and different since you all are power users of doTERRA Social. So this breaks down text, photos, and videos. Now, as we highlighted, some pieces of content might resonate better. Maybe you have a blog style post, which is all text versus a photo versus a video. So this helps to break down what you have posted in terms of the physical type of post. And then it highlights what is your top performing content. So here we have a post and then a video. So you can see how that is going. And then you can also see the best time to publish. So the more you use the platform, the more it learns from you. So this is a really important step here to understand all of that. So again, you have your audience and demographics, as well as content and best posting times. So what we also have, as mentioned, is the statistics tab. So you have a post by post breakdown here, which highlights, for example, the impressions, the reach, the views on the video, the clicks, and you can see what that looks like. And if you choose to boost your post or put some ad spend behind it, you can also get the metrics from here as well. Again, I have a small sample size, but it is always helpful to highlight this. Then that's really it from our side on the social media analytics. To go back to today's presentation, we do have all of this built into the platform already, so it is fully yours to utilize, and we're really happy to assist in any way we can for this. And on that same vein, the information for that, I did see we had one question come through the question and answer box. Anything specifically related to your account, please contact doTERRA at promorepublic.com. Since these are public facing webinars and they will go on emailed out to everyone that registered, as well as everyone live and posted on the website and Facebook group, etc. We never want to share any personal information here. So if you contact us at, again, doTERRA at promorepublic.com with your specific question, we can not only look into your account, we can see any issues, we can troubleshoot. So that is the best forum to reach us on. And also for the future, you can see our landing page. So all previous webinars will go to that area. And we've highlighted a few different webinars even today that you could take a look at, such as how to create your personal brand or how to create a content plan. We already have really great webinars about that. So you can check that out on get.promorepublic.com/doTERRA social. And then to access any of the other websites, you can screenshot this, you can save this, but we are here to help in any way that we can. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Mackenzie to close us out.
Great. Thank you so much, Raquel. We'll just leave a few moments for any last questions that you have, but thank you so much for joining. I'm really glad that we had time to go over this topic today. I think it was honestly a little long overdue because it's something we haven't dived into much for as long as we've had doTERRA Social. So thank you to Raquel and the Promo Republic team for going over this. I think it's going to be really helpful for each of you and help you understand how your hard work is actually paying off. Go and look at those numbers and see how you're building and growing. I think you'll be excited and surprised at how well you're doing. So thanks so much for joining, everyone. Have a wonderful day.